Hello. Today we're going to talk about some less common techniques for recording the acoustic guitar. That's the title of the video. Carson is going to be playing guitar for us here today. The first technique we're going to be taking a look at is one that you might have heard of before, but I'm going to introduce some ideas that might make it more useful for you. This is a stereo mic technique where I'm using a pair of cardioid condenser pencil microphones. These are SE8s, which are relatively inexpensive. I wanted to use mics that weren't crazy to show that it's not really so much about the microphone as it is where you put it. The first microphone is placed about 8 inches off of where the neck meets the body. As you can see, it's angled slightly downward from Carson's face, so it's really directly perpendicular to the instrument. And then the second microphone is over Carson's right shoulder, pointing directly down at the bridge. And the secret sauce of this mic technique is setting your preamp levels exactly the same and using placement to make the sonic image be balanced. This is always a pretty wide, spacious sounding acoustic guitar technique, and so this is probably not what you're going to reach for if you're going to put the acoustic guitar into a dense rock track, for instance. This is what you would want to use if you were recording solo guitar, and as we will discuss here in a moment, it's also a great technique for recording singing guitar players. Let's hear a little bit of what this sounds like. Here's the real ace in the hole with this mic technique. Using it for when you have a singer-songwriter who wants to sing and play at the same time, and you want that guitar to fill up the sonic spectrum nice and big, but they are singing, and you don't want there to be phase problems. Let's throw a vocal mic on Carson and see what this sounds like together. Hit it.
I've been to Vegas, alright. I've lit up the desert behind my taillights, and I've been around enough now to learn it's a strange time to be a stranger.
That's great. Thanks, Carson.
You're welcome.
So here in Pro Tools, let's just quickly take a look at the guitar and vocal configuration, see how they sound on their own, and then see how we might combine them. Soloed, here's what they sound like. Let's check the isolation. Vocal.
I've been to Vegas, alright. I've lit up the desert behind my taillights.
And guitar. That's pretty good isolation. That's going to give you a lot of flexibility as you go into editing and processing. And then if there was one final change that I would add that I think is quite important here, it would probably be to take care of some of the low mids in the guitar. Let's take care of that and see how we feel.
I've been to Vegas, alright. I've lit up the desert behind my taillight.
And there we go. With almost no processing, we've got an awesome singing guitarist sound right out of the gate. This is microphone technique number 2. You've probably heard of midside before, and you've probably seen in videos where it's suggested that you record acoustic guitar in midside. My main issue with this, after having tried to do it lots and lots of times, is that the sonic weight is never even. The stereo image is so accurate that when you're listening on headphones or just in front of a good pair of speakers, midside, you can always tell where the lower bout is on the guitar and where the stringy high-end D sparkle is on the guitar, and ne'er the twain shall have any sense of balance. And that is a real pet peeve of mine. My solution to this is what I call horizontal midside, where the cardioid mic is pointed at the 12th fret about a foot and change off, and then the sides mic, I'm using a bidirectional ribbon microphone here, but any mic that can do a figure of 8 pattern will do, is pointed both towards the ceiling and towards the floor. The real devil with this is balance, because really you can move a traditional mid-side pattern back and forth until the cows come home on a guitar, and if you try to get it in such a place where it sounds balanced, where the weight is in the stereo image, it's going to be woofy because you're going to have to get your mid microphone too close to the sound hole. But with this, you don't have to do that. You set up your mid mic in the nice spot right pointed here that we like, and then you use the up and down axis of this pair of microphones to determine where the weight is. You can also rotate your mics like this and get balance that way as well. It can take a lot of finagling, and a very small adjustment can make a very big difference. I love doing this recording guitar for albums because if you don't know what the production is going to sound like yet, it gives you options. Okay, so I just want to hop back into Pro Tools really quickly. You can see my mid is here. These are my sides, which are an exact duplicate of each other, but of course with the necessary phase invert on the right channel. In a dynamic mix where you have some passages that are intimate with just acoustic guitar and then some passages that are big full band, you can crank the sides up when it's just the acoustic and say a vocalist in, and it'll fill the space really nicely, and then as soon as the band kicks back, you just crank those sides down, and it's very much the same picture of an acoustic guitar, but taking up way less real estate and being like more of a team player in the mix. Together they sound like this with the sides wide open. Now, I've got all of these things going into a bus that has a stereo imager on it, and this plugin allows me to basically control how wide it is, how much of the sides are involved, and by turning these all the way down, it's basically just summing everything completely into mono. That's nice right there. And true mono. Still a super usable sound. Yeah, you can kind of kill two birds with one stone. For the third technique, this is a mono mic technique that is less suited for most studio applications, although you could use it in a studio. Really, it's great for when you are in suboptimal recording situations, i.e. on stage or outdoors. But to simulate outdoor conditions, you can see that if I point a fan at Carson, this technique still sounds good and you still get clear low end on the guitar in spite of the wind. This is also good for if you are making a recording of an acoustic guitar on stage and you want something a little bit more natural than a DI tone, but you have an idiot bassist who is playing too much and is monitoring themselves too hot, and they're wrecking your mic tone on stage. So what we're going to do with this technique is we're going to use a pencil condenser microphone in cardioid with a windscreen on it, if you've got one, and we're going to get it only about 3 inches away from the neck joint of the guitar. And then we're also going to take a line out from the guitar's pickup, and then we're going to blend those two together in an interesting way. So let's go take a look at Pro Tools and see what this technique entails. So for this third technique, if we just listen to our pencil mic and our DI right out of the gate, neither of them are sounding great. Here they are together. And then if we solo the pencil, solo the DI. Oof, that is like, it's Tesla's MTV Unplugged concert bad. The thing about DIs, though, is that we can detect the fakeness of DIs really clearly in their high register, but not so much in their low register. And with condenser microphones, they're more susceptible to problems in the low register and not as much in the high register. Wind noise, on-stage, either acoustical nodes in the venue or just a bassist who's cranked too hot or whatever, that's all going to be sitting down in the bottom. So we're going to try and take the best of both worlds here, and we're going to high pass the microphone and we're going to low pass the DI. Let's be pretty aggressive here. Let's say maybe 300 hertz will be our crossover point. Let's see what that sounds like together. Let's try backing off the intensity. Move it to 150. I'm also going to add a little presence back in on the guitar since the mic is so close. It's not the most faithful acoustic guitar sound I've ever heard, but it's going to be a lot better than what you're getting straight out of a DI. And because we're getting rid of so much low information from the pencil mic, it would allow us to use it in situations where we might not otherwise reasonably be able to, i.e. windy situations, bassy onstage situations, etc. In summation, there are many great ways to get a great sound out of the acoustic guitar. Don't be intimidated. We all know about space pairs and XYs and mono things, but these are some, try these ones out. See how you feel about it. You can also use, get creative with them, but this is a place that you can start with two great stereo techniques, one that's great for a singing guitarist and one that's great for using in suboptimal recording situations. Good luck. Thanks, Carson.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Wait, the way you both looked at the camera straight like that afterwards was pretty uncanny.
One thing that I want you to get...
You have a big chunk of something. No, it's right on the tooth.
Chunk of something.
Oh, God. No, it's... Yeah.
Josh Turner and Chunk of something.
Oh, God.
Where is it?
It's like... Go look in the mirror.
Is it like full redo?
Just describe it to me.
I can't. It's too shocking.
I got a chunk of something I traded for a chunk of your love.